All right, y'all. So since I've started YouTube, there've been so many damn marketing brands trying to pump fake me to try and sell me nonsense, man. The only company that I trust that I've seen put in work to get niggas more damn followers is Make You Famous. Obviously, everyone needs a strong marketing team around them. So far, Make You Famous has met my expectations. If you do music, if you sell things, if you model, or like me, you just do YouTube, then they'll do what you're looking for. You know what I mean? And grow your following pretty quickly. So if that's what you're looking for, click the link below, email them to see all subscription deals. You feel what I'm saying? And no, I'm not being paid to say this shit, man. It's your boy Banks. Come on now. All I do is true talks. You feel me? What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks. And we back in the building, you feel me? It's true talks. Cause true talks. All right, let's get straight right into it. So I'm going to be doing a Eastern Conference second round preview. You already know the gauntlet has arrived. So first we're going to be talking about the series that's Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks is the first seed. Celtics is the fourth seed. So what do I predict for that? So the Bucks, they did look good in the first round, but again, they're facing a hobbled Detroit Pistons with no Blake Griffin. And they didn't really have any schemes, you know what I mean? It's just, you already know, dribble, penetrate, kick out, all that type of stuff. They have a lot of shooters. Giannis is eating in the paint. Now, they're playing good. They're in a rhythm. They might not have Brogdon, which is definitely going to be crucial because that boy is poised, 50, 40, 90, you already know. But let me put it like this, okay? Because you all know the Celtics also face Indiana, but it was a tough series. You know what I'm saying? Because Indiana is tough. They're not Detroit. They're missing Victor, but it was tough. So the fact that they grounded out and they swept is definitely like, oh, I see you, Boston. I see you. Let me put it this way. Budenholzer is a good coach, so he can adjust on the fly. He could do things. You know what I'm saying? But Brad Stevens, the defensive principles that they pulled last year versus the Bucks. Again, the Bucks didn't have the same shooting, but they pulled last year is what they do, and what they're probably going to still do is they're going to have Horford guarding Giannis. Now, what this does is because Brook Lopez is not your traditional center anymore, and he stays on the perimeter, they're probably going to put Marcus Morris on him. You get what I'm saying? Or Baines on him. You know what I'm saying? Or they probably won't even start Baines. They'll probably start Marcus Morris. They'll put someone perimeter-wise on Lopez. What this does is Horford has the intangibles and the defensive IQ, knowing what's Giannis' weaknesses. He's going to sag off him probably to free throw line, and knowing what's his strengths. So now Giannis would have to create going downhill with Horford already cutting him off at certain angles. The same thing they did with Simmons last year. You know what I'm saying? So they're probably going to do that, which is now going to force Giannis to actually go to work. He's not going to be able to just, blow by, go to the paint, and then actually just kick out, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they won't help like that. I'm telling you, Brad Stevens, they're going to have a good defensive scheme. They're going to stand their shooters, and they're going to force Giannis to actually get 50 mano-a-mano. That's what I said is the only way, that's the easiest way and the best way to stop the Bucks is don't help, because when the shooters are shooting, it's lights out. If you don't help, you force Giannis to get 50. It's all twos. They're not going to win like that because the problem is the shooting. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Bucks can shoot and they still have dribble penetration with Bledsoe and other guys. But again, their bread and butter is Giannis driving kick or Giannis get the bucket. That's their bread and butter. So I feel like the Boston Celtics will lock that up and expose the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen the Bucks really, because they have two, is kind of like bare role players and Giannis. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and Giannis is not shooting mid-range and taking over at that kind of half-court setting. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of transition. I feel like Boston Celtics will cut that off. They'll foul. They'll do all kinds of stuff. The IQ is just too high. And they have solid defense. So I just feel like that's the case. And then you have Kyrie taking over, who could score, is unguardable anyways. I just feel like Boston's going to win that. Y'all be surprised. They'll probably be 5 or 6. That's what I'm saying. Because they have home court advantage, I will give them 2. I'll say Boston Celtics in 6. That's what I see coming. Boston Celtics in 6. I feel like Boston Celtics will win both of theirs at home and they'll still win on the road and then close out in game 6. That's how I see it. I just see Kyrie taking over. The defensive schematics are going to be too elite. I need to see more creating from Giannis when it comes to mid-range shots. Horford's going to force you to do your weaknesses. You know, he's a disciplined, smart defensive player. You know what I'm saying? That's what he is. He's going to make you take your weakness. He's going to know what you like doing and know this and that and force you to your weak spots. And that's how Brad Stevens and them play. It's the same thing they did to Indiana. Force niggas to do something that they're not comfortable with. And that will only last for so long. That's basically what they're going to do. So trust me, I just trust in them. I don't see the Bucks Remember, stars is what wins championships. I don't see a lot of creators. I see shooting, but there's like role players shooting. You know what I'm saying? Middleton came creating all that type of stuff, but are you going to live on a steady diet off Bledsoe and Middleton cooking? They don't really do that. You know what I'm saying? They don't really do that. It's mainly Giannis kick out and they just spot up, or pump fake, dribble penetration, kick out and rotate. That's what they do. And that's not going to really happen OD against the Celtics unless they make mistakes. But if Boston Celtics play the way I see them playing, it's 6. So now we're going to go straight to, we're going to go to the Raptors. You know what I'm saying? The Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers are the 3rd seed. The Raptors are the 2nd seed, so they have home court advantage. A lot of people are not seeing, they just look at the amount of players you have, like stars or elite players that you have on a team, and not understanding the actual play style. You know what I'm saying? So let me explain this for you. Brett Brown is actually getting exposed as a coach. He's been getting exposed as a coach. You know what I'm saying? Brett Brown is running the same plays and the same schemes that he's running offensively that he ran last year and that he's running this year. Let's take it back to last year. Last year, they had 3 knockdown shooters. Redick coming off screens, Bellinelli coming off screens, replaced what Redick was doing when he came on the bench, and they both were hitting drifting threes, which is tough, but they were hitting them. And you also have Ilyasova, who's also hitting threes. You get what I'm saying? Same type of thing. So you had 3 shooters at all times. One of them is on the court, or 2 of them. You get what I'm saying? You didn't have Jimmy Butler. So you had Ben Simmons was able to handoffs, create, pass off the screen. If you sagged off him, he's curling pass, etc. And then you had Embiid, which now creates more space for Embiid because Ben Simmons is actually ball handling outside on the perimeter. Embiid is on the block sometimes. And you have the guys moving and doing actions, curling off screens. And then they drop it off to Embiid off the, Redick if he's caught, pump fake down, drop down, or whatever to Embiid. That's the play styles they're kind of running. They still kind of run similar stuff like that. Not as much, but they still run similar stuff like that when they don't have those shooters. They have Jimmy Butler. He can shoot sometimes, but he's a scorer. Tobias Harris, he's a shooter scorer. Those are shooter scorers are like Damian Lillard, those type of guys. Even Curry. Well, Curry's different. But shooter scorers are guys that, even Damian Lillard too. Those guys they're shooters, but they're not just shooters. You know what I'm saying? They're scorers that can shoot. You know what I'm saying? At an elite level. So now when you limit them to just being a shooter, they're not going to shoot as efficient because they still need the rhythm. They still need those takes. They still need, the ball in their hands to create. But when you just make Tobias Harris just a shooter, it's like, bruh, really? That's why he's sometimes going to struggle. He's trying to find his spots. If he doesn't get the games he went off was when he was getting a lot of it, and a lot of it was what? Transition versus the Nets. If you cut off the Nets, if you cut off the Sixers transition, you force them to half court, their play style does not fit well with the kind of personnel that they actually have. Jimmy Butler gets lost in the shuffle. Tobias Harris gets lost in the shuffle. They go to Embiid, and they do Simmons and Redick. Redick is there sitting in the paint screens like, bruh, if you know Raptors with their defense, one thing Raptors have a problem defending is actually the shooters and spacing. That's what they have a problem defending because they overhelp, etc., etc. But then the Sixers have no space in a lot of the times. If you actually look at it, Ben Simmons is on the block playing rebounder role, or if he has the ball, someone's guarding him at free throw line. You get what I'm saying, or below free throw line, because once you have a ball handler, you can actually stay in the paint. Once your man has the ball, you get what I'm saying. Ben Simmons, Redick is setting screens below the free throw line in the paint for him. You get what I'm saying, while Embiid's in the block. Like there's just a lot. If you actually watch, there's a lot of no spacing. The Raptors will easily clamp that shit up because one, Kawhi's on Ben Simmons. And that's what Raptors have an easier time defending, and they have elite defending, is when you can't shoot well, you know what I'm saying? And you have no spacing. That's when now the cookies come, and the padding and the switching and all, they actually can lock that shit up. Same thing with Orlando. Bad, terrible spacing a lot of times. Spacing doesn't just mean you're close together. It just means your personnels aren't mixing. If you have someone who's not a shooter, automatically it's no spacing because I can help off him. You get what I'm saying? So stuff like that. They have a lot of stuff like that going on. So I'm telling y'all, it's not going to be as tough as people. It's 3-1 in the season for a reason. Now, the positive for the Sixers is Embiid. Embiid was bullying in the actual season series. If you look at it, he was bullying. But who was guarding him? Ibaka and Valanciunas, and a lot of times Ibaka. Now they got Gasol. You see what Gasol did to Vuk? You see what Gasol did to Vuk? You know what I'm saying? You have Gasol on Embiid. It's not going to maybe clamp, but he's going to clamp to a certain extent. He's not doing that shit. You see what he does. You see what Horford does to him. You know what I'm saying? And the Sixers, they don't close well. If you actually look, if they go to Jimmy Butler, they'll close well. They don't close well. Simmons gets a lot of turnovers. Kawhi was padding that shit. He's not making him scared to dribble. Like, that's just gonna go. That's why Kawhi's looking is like, yo, the Sixers are. He's not worried about the Sixers. That's actually man's like Siakam could actually overhelp. You know what I mean? And obviously it's not good to do it, but he could actually overhelp because they don't have shooter personnel like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like two guys could shoot. And Embiid is kind of streaky, you know what I'm saying? So it's really not gonna be as tough as people think. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's gonna be the Raptors in maybe 5 or 6. I don't think it's going 7 games. 5 or 6 is gonna be the Raptors. I told y'all it's gonna be hard to win with Simmons in the playoffs, especially with a good defensive team. They struggle with the Nets, but the Nets aren't an elite defensive team like that. They're an elite offensive pick and roll dominant team. So they're kind of young. Obviously, they're going to lose. But when you have guys, you see how the Raptors are playing defense and no spacing. Now you want to give them that? That's lockup. That's lockup, man. If the X factor is Tobias Harris. If they get Tobias Harris on transition, because he wasn't there for those other games. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi was been eating. But if they get Tobias Harris on actually transition and certain stuff like that, then he could get going. He's going to be the X factor for that team. You get what I'm saying? Now the Raptors Lowry could show up. He doesn't have to show up. It does, he could do whatever. If he shows up, it might be a sweep. You know what I'm saying? But I already know he's going to be inconsistent. That's how it goes. But like I said, Kawhi, I expect to eat. You know what I'm saying? The mid-range is going to be there all day. He's going to abuse or baby whoever it is. Raptors have great spacing. They ran in transition. Siakam's going to abuse. Like you have Tobias Harris guarding Siakam. That's baby food because Tobias can't really slide shuffle like that. He's tall, but he doesn't really slide shuffle like that. So Siakam will face him up and blow by him. You already know. What's it called? You have Butler. I don't know if they might put him on Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? But you will see how that goes. If they put him on Kawhi, then Again, Kawhi's been abusing whoever was guarding him the whole time in 3 games. So I already know it's gonna be abuse, no excuse. They'll probably put Lowry on Redick. They'll put Danny Green on Butler, Kawhi on Simmons, and Siakam on Tobias Harris. That's what they'll do. So Lowry, he plays good off-ball defense, off the screens and stuff like that. But they'll just switch the shit. They might get Jimmy Butler and Lowry going mano-a-mano. But Lowry actually has good post defense. But then again, it's like, are you going to win off a steady dive off post-ups? And even then, it's not just about the initial defender. Like I said, the help side. We have what's Ben Simmons doing when he's off ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of stuff going on that is not good. And the main thing is in the clutch, the Sixers are terrible. Especially with Ben Simmons, the turnovers, the decision making, the no spacing. Like, y'all see, man, it's just gonna be, I'm telling y'all, 5 or 6, man. I'll be surprised if it actually goes 7. I give Sixers maybe 1 game on the road at home or whatever. Like, I'll be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I'll be surprised. Especially Raptors are locked in and they actually know they can play and they're gonna be serious from jump. That's 5 or 6 easy. And that play style is terrible. That play style does not work. And Butler should be getting more touches. Tobias should be getting way more touches. You know what I'm saying? Their offense is terrible. Embiid has to be on the 3-point line of bare times because Ben Simmons is on the block when he doesn't have the ball. Like, until he gets a jump shot, they're gonna be hindered, Joe. They can't go that far. I'm telling y'all. Anyways, it's True Talks. Cause True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. The game is tomorrow at 7. You already know. We had a big game. Normally, I don't really do videos on Sundays because that's my busy day. So I probably will do a video on Monday. So I'll be patient. You know what I'm saying? Share, like, and subscribe. I'm here, y'all. We grinding. We going. We moving forward. Let's go, man. Let's go. It's a great time. We'll do the West when the Western matchups are solidified. We'll do those ones. But for now, it's gonna be a good second round though. Regardless, even if it's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be entertaining, man. We'll see. Share, like, and subscribe. It's True Talks. Cause True Talks. And I'm out, man.